What is this heavy metal device? The handle of the roller appears to have the year 1880 on it. I recently received this from my grandfather, and it has been in the family for a while. There seem to be instructions to set this on the stove with a removable piece of metal below the roller. We are trying to find out what this may have been used for. Does anybody know what this is? It's a Victorian mechanical fluting iron, made by Shepherd Hardware Company in Buffalo, New York around the 1880s. These types of specialty irons were an essential appliance in the late 1800s, as pleats and ruffles on collars, cuffs, and dresses were the fashion of the day. Just like a regular hot flat iron, this item was heated up. You'll see the wheel and the flat mechanism lock in with each other, and you would slowly go through and reflute each of the little sections of your fluted garments whenever you were to launder them. I know this is a chair, but what are the rods and the arms for? It is an antique, and the back has the ability to recline. The rods operate independently of the reclining back. They slide in and out by manually pulling on them. I sat in it and tried to use the extensions to take my boots off, but not helpful for boots. I tried to spread eagle, but I was not comfortable. I just checked to see how sturdy they are, and I realized the chair will tip over backwards when it reclines. Could it be for a counterbalance? I have encountered these in some older homes in my area. They use the rods to hold a detachable reading tray that was made to go on the rods. This item is antique, reupholstered, and the date of manufacture was before the 1700s. I picked this up at an auction. We currently use it as a side table, but what is it actually? It's about 40 centimeters high and 25 centimeters wide, and the funnel itself is only about 12 centimeters tall. The funnel is hollow, but doesn't have a hole where it meets the tabletop. My first guess was a table with a vase, but it's a really bad vase. The funnel is the wrong shape for that purpose. What is this thing? It's an early to mid-century smoker's table with an ashtray often found in bars and hotels during the 30s and 40s. It seems to be missing what would have been the actual chrome ashtray part and matchbox holder. It was probably easily removable for quick cleanup. What is this dumpster-looking thing on this roof in Lyell, New York? I work in Ithaca and drive from Philadelphia. I've driven past this house maybe 10 times and wondered what it was every time. It's been there for a while, so I don't think it is a dumpster. What could this be? It is an old solar system for heating either air or water, not for generating electric power. In the 1980s, there were lots of tax credits for adding solar things, and one way to get a fat credit for not much effort was a solar air or water heater, such as this. They sucked for the most part, and usually didn't last long, but the credits returned more than the cost of the crappy system. I've seen a few in my neighborhood, but they've mostly been removed. I bought this in Djibouti, East Africa from a random shop. It's very heavy. The 4 balls spin on the axis, and you can see they are attached. The shopkeeper spoke very little English, and I don't speak Arabic, so the best I could get is it has something to do with sailing back in the day. Of course he could have just been making up something to get me to buy it. I just thought it looked cool and wanted to have it. I tried a Google image search, and Google thought it might be a locket. It's not. It's the size of a small plate. Do you have any ideas on what this could be? It's an Islamic brass astrolabe with 4 celestial globes, a navigational tool used by Muslim traders during the medieval period. It's in Arabic writing because Arabic was the lingua franca of trade in the Indian Ocean for many centuries. Back in the Middle Ages, Muslims were the dominant traders in the Indian Ocean, and Hindus seeking to do business overseas had to work with them. This piece is probably from India during a period of British occupation, and is likely to have been produced in one of the northern Indian workshops that are known to have produced Islamicate-style globes as early as the 16th to 17th centuries, and continued well into the 20th century. I just moved to a new apartment in Bosnia and Herzegovina and found this in the living room. It's like half a meter in diameter, maybe a bit longer. It has some holes on the top of the lid, but why would it be on the floor? All the things from the previous owner are still in the apartment. That's because the parents of the guy we are renting a place from used to live here. All of their things are old and really cool. What the heck is this? This is a 19th century Turkish-style brazier, sometimes referred to as a mangle, typically used by nomadic peoples of the Middle East for heating and some cooking. Since you cannot have a hearth in a tent, instead, you burn charcoal in a specially designed brazier which contains the fire and radiates the heat. This one is compact and plainly decorated with a short base to hold the fire bowl and a simple cover. What is this thing I found in an old house? The cup is made of glass and metal, the balls inside are made of glass, and it appears to have an internal air chamber. There is a written on the upper part Picaluga and Margan, and Patent Genova. I'm guessing maybe some kind of a hookah or water pipe. But it seems that no air or smoke can pass through that pipe that comes out. Besides, what would those little balls be used for? I also just checked and there are no burns. Does anyone have a clue? It's a late 19th century purifying filter for wine barrels. Based on this old Italian wine-making document from circa 1894, it's actually more like an interlock, so that the barrel can be sampled without allowing the wine to be exposed to room air. It siphons directly from the barrel, and the pressure is allowed to escape through the glass beads and out of the 3 holes in the top. It is a valve of sorts that protects the wine. A friend found this tray at a thrift store. It appears vintage and is made of wood. It has ornate inlay handles and brass knobs in 2 sizes. No markings on the bottom, and all searches come up empty. What is this thing? It's a mid-century bagel serving tray. The uprights hold the bagels, and the small posts fit glass trays to stop them from sliding off. The plates would hold lox and cream cheese. You can probably unscrew the dowels for storage, and it's made in Israel like grandma's. What is this cast iron dome-shaped object with a ring on top, about 4.5 inches in diameter with 3 equidistant holes on the side? I found it on a shelf in my grandfather's basement. It seems pretty old, and it looks like cast iron, and the ring has either a worn or hammered look. My first thought was that it could be some sort of decorative cap for a street post, the kind that has a chain linking it to other posts. Any idea what this could be? It's a 19th century cast iron hitching post cap for tying horses along the street. It gets screwed or bolted to the top of a post, and the ring would be used to tie up a horse. Most that I've seen are shaped like a horse's head, but some are just a decorative finial like yours. What is this vintage blue willow crock with a strange concave vented lid? I found it in the attic of a very old house built around the 1890s. It's about 10 inches tall and it has knobs on the sides. I'm very curious to learn what this thing is. Please tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.